Judges Part 1. The continuing conquest of Canaan. After the death of Joshua, Israel continued trying to conquer the land. Failure to complete the conquest. Israel was unable to drive out many of the inhabitants of the land, but where they couldn't drive them out, they made them do forced labor. Israel's disobedience. Now the angel of the Lord went up from Gilgal to Bochum, and he said, "And you shall make no covenant with the inhabitants of this land. You shall break down their altars, but you have not obeyed my voice. What is this you have done? So now I say, I will not drive them out before you, but they shall become thorns in your sides, and their God shall be a snare to you." The death of Joshua. And Joshua the son of Nun, the servant of the Lord, died at the age of 110 years. And there arose another generation after them who did not know the Lord or the work that he had done for Israel. Israel's unfaithfulness. And the people of Israel did what was evil in the sight of the Lord and served the Baals. And they abandoned the Lord, the God of their fathers, who had brought them out of the land of Egypt. They went after other gods from among the gods of the peoples who were around them, and bowed down to them, and they provoked the Lord to anger. They abandoned the Lord and served the Baals and the Ashtaroth. So the anger of the Lord was kindled against Israel, and he gave them over to the plunderers who plundered them, and he sold them into the hand of their surrounding enemies, so that they could no longer withstand their enemies. Whenever they marched out, the hand of the Lord was against them for harm, as the Lord had warned, and as the Lord had sworn to them, and they were in terrible distress. The Lord raises up judges. Then the Lord raised up judges who saved them out of the hand of those who plundered them. But whenever the judge died, they turned back and were more than their fathers. Now these are the nations that the Lord left to test Israel by them. These are the nations, the 5 lords of the Philistines, and all the Canaanites, and the Sidonians, and the Hivites. So the people of Israel lived among the Canaanites, the Hivites, the Amorites, the Perizzites, the Hivites, Hittites, and the Jebusites. And their daughters they took to themselves for wives, and their own daughters they gave to their sons, and they served their gods. Othniel. And the people of Israel did what was evil in the sight of the Lord. They forgot the Lord their God, and served the Baals and the Ashtaroth. Therefore the anger of the Lord was kindled against Israel, and he sold them into the hand of Cushan Rishathaim, king of Mesopotamia, and the people of Israel served Cushan Rishathaim 8 years. But when the people of Israel cried out to the Lord raised up a deliverer, Othniel, the son of Kenaz, Caleb's younger brother, and his hand prevailed over Cushan Rishathaim. So the land had rest 40 years. Then Othniel, the son of Kenaz, died. Ehud. And the people of Israel again did what was evil in the sight of the Lord. And the Lord strengthened Eglon, the king of Moab, against Israel. He gathered to himself the Ammonites and the Amalekites, and went and defeated Israel. And the people of Israel served Eglon, the king of Moab, 18 years. And the people of Israel cried out to the Lord, and the Lord raised up for them a deliverer, Ehud. And he presented the tribute to Eglon, king of Moab. And Ehud reached with his left hand, took a sword from his right thigh, and thrust it into his belly. Ehud escaped, and he said to them, "Follow after me, for the Lord has given your enemies, the Moabites, into your hand." So Moab was subdued that day under the hand of Israel, and the land had rest for 80 years. Shamgar. After him was Shamgar, the son of Anath, who killed 600 of the Philistines with an ox goad, and he also saved Israel. Deborah and Barak. And the people of Israel again did what was evil in the sight of the Lord after he had died. And the Lord sold them into the hand of Jabin king of Canaan, who reigned in Hazor. The commander of his army was Sisera, who lived in Harosheth Hagion. Then the people of Israel cried out to the Lord for help, for he had 900 chariots of iron, and he oppressed the people of Israel cruelly for 20 years. Now Deborah, a prophetess, the wife of Lapidoth, was judging Israel at that time, and the people of Israel came up to her for judgment. She sent and summoned Barak, and said to him, Has not the Lord, the God of Israel, commanded you, Go gather your men at Mount Tabor, taking 10,000 from the people of Naphtali and the people of Zebulun, and I will draw out Sisera, the general of Jabin's army, and I will give him into your hand. For the Lord will sell Sisera into the hand of a woman. When Sisera was told that Barak, the son of Abinoam, had gone up to Mount Tabor, Sisera called out all his chariots, 900 chariots of iron, and all the men who were with him. And the Lord routed Sisera and all his chariots. But Sisera fled away on foot to the tent of Jael. There was peace between Jabin and Heber. But Jael, the wife of Heber, took a tent peg and took a hammer in her hand. Then she went softly to him and drove the peg into his temple until it went down into the ground while he was lying fast asleep from weariness. So he died. Come, I will show you the man whom you are seeking. And the hand of the people of Israel pressed harder and harder against Jabin the king of Canaan until they destroyed Jabin king of Canaan. The song of Deborah and Barak. Then sang Deborah and Barak, the son of Abinoam, on that day, and the land had rest for 40 years. Midian oppresses Israel. The people of Israel did what was evil in the sight of the Lord, and the Lord gave them into the hand of Midian 7 years. Because of Midian, the people of Israel made for themselves the dens that are in the mountains, and the caves and the strongholds. They would encamp against them and devour the produce of the land as far as Gaza, and leave no substance in Israel, and no sheep or ox or donkey, like locusts in number. They laid waste the land, and the people of Israel cried out for help to the Lord. The Lord sent a prophet to the people of Israel, and I said to you, I am the Lord your God. You shall not fear the gods of the Amorites in whose land you dwell, but you have not obeyed my voice. The call of Gideon. Now the angel of the Lord came and sat under the Terebinth at Ophrah, which belonged to Joash the Abiezrite, while his son Gideon was beating out wheat in the winepress to hide it from the Midianites. And the angel of the Lord appeared to him and said to him, The Lord is with you, O mighty man of Valor. And Gideon said to him, Please, sir, if the Lord is with us, why then has all this happened to us? And the Lord turned to him and said, Go into this might of yours and save Israel from the hand of Midian. Do not I send you? If now I have found favor in your eyes, then show me a sign. Please do not depart from here until I come to you and bring out my present and set before you. So Gideon went into his house and prepared a young goat and unleavened cakes from an ephah of flour. And the angel of God said to him, Take the meat and the unleavened cakes and put them on this rock, and pour the broth over them. Then the angel of the Lord reached out the tip of his staff that was in his hand and touched the meat and the unleavened cakes. And fire sprang up from the rock and consumed the meat and the unleavened cakes, and the angel of the Lord vanished from his sight. For now I have seen the angel of the Lord face to face. Then Gideon built an altar there to the Lord and called it, The Lord is Peace. Gideon destroys the altar of Baal. Then the men of the town said to Joash, Bring out your son, that he may die, for he has broken down the altar of Baal and cut down the Asherah beside it. But Joash said to all who stood against him, Will you contend for Baal? Therefore on that day Gideon was called Jerubbaal. That is to say, let Baal contend against him. Now all the Midianites and the Amalekites and the people of the east came together. But the Spirit of the Lord clothed Gideon, and he sounded the trumpet, and the Abiezrites were called out to follow him. And he sent messengers throughout all Manasseh, and they too were called out to follow him. And he sent messengers to Asher, Zabal, and Naphtali, and they went up to meet them.